Chris. Call the meeting to order. For those who care to, please rise for an opening prayer and salute the flag. You would bow your heads with me. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and thank you for the time we get to spend together. Thank you for allowing and blessing this city with leaders. Allow them to make decisions you want them to make. Thank you for blessing this community. Be with us as we lead, guide, and direct. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I only have one announcement tonight. One announcement tonight. Not worth mentioning. You know, I would say that, but you do have a birthday, Mr. Grooms. And we want to honor you by giving you this card filled with cash. As you can see, it's really sad. Happy birthday, Mr. Grooms.
Nice purple envelope.
I don't know how old he is either.
Let's not go there.
All I know is Mr. Grooms is older than me.
He doesn't
Correct?
look it.
Oh, he does.
Ouch. Showing you and she scores from downtown.
Poole brought her A game. That'll be good tonight. Very nice, Miss Poole. Very nice. Cannot wait for your birthday to come up next year. Laughs laugh. I'd like to open a public hearing of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri concerning the draft application stormwater management plan for the city's municipal separate storm sewer system. Need a motion?
Motion.
No.
No.
I'd like to open that. Mr. Brock, please give us an overview, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. The purpose of this public hearing is to make residents aware of some new things coming our way and pass along information to City Council as well. I do want to start off by saying that we are soliciting review and comment by our residents. We have a draft stormwater management plan that we have posted on our website. I need to look for the banner header of Republic Solicits feedback on stormwater management plan. We also have a complete document with all the appendices available with our city clerk. Republic is being impacted in something that originated back in 1972 with the passage of the Clean Water Act. This was a federal regulation that applied to both sanitary sewer and stormwater. The stormwater portion was triggered in or phased in. Phase 1 originally enacted in the 90s, affected cities greater than 100,000 population. Phase 2 has been implemented in the last 20 years and applied to smaller cities that were located in an urbanized area or communities that have population over 10,000. And as many of you know, in 2010, Republic's population moved over that threshold of 10,000, so those regulations apply to us. Here in Missouri, the Department of Natural Resources has regulatory oversight, and they are our permitting authority. There's a number of state statutes and regulations that describe what the program needs to be, and that's the resources we've been drawing upon to prepare our application. We have a due date to submit our application on May 14th, so we'd ask if we do have folks that would like to ask questions or comment on it, we can take those and incorporate that in our application up to about May 1st. Certainly anything after that time, be more than welcome to hear from anyone who has a comment or concern, but to have that potential issue acted on, I'd like to hear from by May 1st. Our application is in two parts, a two-page state form, very straightforward, and then our stormwater management plan. And you may hear a lot of new acronyms tonight. We call that a SWMP, S-W-M-P. And what we have to put in our SWMP is a description and documentation of any existing programs or regulations that qualify under this new program, any progress that we've made to date towards the new regulations, And really the bulk of it will be describing how, over the next 5 years, we're going to comply with these new regulations. The program is really broken down into 6 categories or activities that we need to undertake over the next 5 years. And each category is known as a minimum control measure. So the bulk of our SWIP is going to be describing how we're going to undertake these minimum control measures. The state wants us to be specific about when we'll hit certain milestones, have completion dates for different steps and activities, and to have a measurable goal that's easily defined. A measurable goal, a good measurable goal is not ambiguous. It's clear. We're going to print a brochure and we're going to distribute it in the utility bills. We're going to do it once a year or twice a year, something that's very concrete and allows for a good analysis. So our 6 control measures that we have: public education and outreach, public involvement and participation, illicit discharge, detection and elimination, construction site runoff, post-construction stormwater management, and pollution prevention and good housekeeping in municipal operations. I'll hit each of these very quickly, give an idea of what each of the control measures. Public education and outreach, just as it sounds, it's a public relations campaign. Our strategy is to use the same means that we communicate with our residents now. Our website, government access channel, direct mailing through the utility bills, and brochures and discussions at community events like the Business Expo. This is one area where we get credit for our recent partnership with James River Basin. We essentially get a collaborative credit for the regional campaigns that they undertake. They have a very broad web-based presence, and they also use TV, radio, broadcast media to advertise their events. We simply have to document their activities, and we can show that it has being broadcast and being utilized here in Republic. The next minimum control measure, public involvement and participation. Tonight's meeting is part of that, being able to document that we've made this information available. We're soliciting feedback from the community. Another credit from our membership in James River Basin, we can co-sponsor their cleanup activities. They do at least one large event each year. Certainly no reason why their outreach to Republic citizens to participate that can't be counted in our favor. We do need to coordinate an effort to reach affected stakeholders groups, business, industry. Another item we need is a permanent stormwater management panel. This would be a cross-section of residents who we would work with on an annual basis to review our program. The next component, illicit discharge and detection, and that consists of mapping the stormwater system, a pollutant monitoring analysis where we're actually sampling stormwater that comes out of the city and looking for pollutants. We have lined up the use of a group out of Missouri State University. This is the Ozarks Environmental and Water Resource Institute. They are performing this sampling and testing for Springfield, Greene County, Christian County, Nixon, Ozark, and then we have a draft program already set up with those folks. We need to establish a way for residents to report suspected pollution, dry weather screening, which is physically walking ditches and stormwater systems in the heat of summer and looking for a water discharge that shouldn't be there this time of year and investigating that, and then following up with an investigation and tracking of any complaints. Now, the heart of the illicit discharge and detection is an ordinance that would need to be adopted by the City Council that really sets the stage for all of the complaints and investigation and follow-up. That ordinance would need to spell out specifically what is prohibited, what is acceptable, such as sump pump discharge, car wash water, firefighting activities, and it needs to set up an enforcement mechanism with abatement orders, stop work orders, and ultimately fines through municipal court. Our next minimum control measure is construction site runoff. This is one where we have a very good jump start. We do need to make some modifications to our existing program. We need to be more explicit on procedures for site inspections. We need to be able to require a contractor to submit a bond prior to doing land disturbance activities. We need to encompass the control of trade waste that you'll find on a job site, and again, a formal enforcement mechanism using stop work orders, fines, and potential permit denials for noncompliance. Post-construction management is the next minimum control measure. This would be completely new here in Republic. Looking for a program that requires the use of infrastructure, both public and private, that reduces and screens pollutants. A water quality feature that's built into detention pond, bioretention swales, something that gets that water to soak in and filter out any contaminants that may be carried along. Our post-construction management needs to encourage infill redevelopment and development where we have good existing storm sewer system. There's a lot of different areas in our planning and code documents that will need review. Our development codes, particular open space, green space requirements, the use of riparian buffers. We want to try and preserve the ecologically sensitive areas, so our land use plan may need to be reviewed. And again, the type of infrastructure that's built for stormwater management. Now, this will probably be the biggest change, or is the biggest change in our industry as far as dealing with stormwater. For years and years, the strategy has been to put it in a pipe, put it in a concrete channel, and just move it away from the development. And this program really looks for the opposite. We want that rainwater to soak in as close to where it falls as we can. And the last minimum control measure, pollution prevention of municipal operations. Again, this is just a look at what we do internally, all the different departments, and we come up with a written plan that shows that we've reviewed that for how it might impact stormwater. So how pesticides, herbicides are stored or used, fuel oil and lubricants. We need to make sure each of our buildings and maintenance folks know what a spill prevention plan is, that we've got response kits available. And another part of the operations would be how we store our road salt, how that's applied. Are we really putting out the minimum necessary to do the job? Additional part of that municipal operations would be to set up a training program for staff. Some of our grounds and buildings may require modifications. I mentioned before, a detention basin can be converted to serve also as a water quality basin. We have some small fuel storage facilities that don't require containment because of their small size from the Department of Agriculture. But in this case, do we want to look at putting containment out there anyway just to minimize the potential impact if we do have a spill? And then finally, another instance might be a maintenance bay that has a floor drain that drains to the surface instead of being connected to sanitary sewer. Our implementation strategy is to use the full 5 years that we have available. The first portion of that program will be the low-hanging fruit, so to speak, things that staff can prepare and implement where we have the need for extensive code review or revisions, or the need to hire a consulting engineer to rewrite specifications. Those were essentially scheduled to be spread out over the remaining 3 years of the program. For implementation or long-term, funding is going to be a significant issue for us. In 2012, we did a lot of this work and received a allocation of the park's stormwater sales tax that expired in August. So that revenue source is not available for future operations. We do have appropriations in 2013, but the source revenue for those appropriations are water, wastewater, and transportation revenue. So we need to be looking for a dedicated revenue that's going to help us operate this program because this will be a permanent feature or permanent part of our municipal operation.
You sure that's it?
Any questions?
That's impressive. Since this is a public hearing, anyone wishing to speak for this particular item, please step forward, state your name, sign in, and give us your best 3 minutes. Seeing none, anyone wishing to speak against this particular public hearing, please step forward, state your name, sign in, and give us your best 3 minutes. Seeing none, public hearing closed. I'd like to open it up now to citizen participation. Anyone wishing to speak to anything not on the agenda, please step forward, state your name, sign in, and give us your best 3 minutes. Seeing none, citizen participation closed. Need a motion on the consent agenda?
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. On the financial report, welcome Laura. Please give us an overview.
Good evening. What you have in front of you, excuse me, I've lost my voice. Okay, I have to sit down now. The unrestricted cash balances, you will see has increased by approximately $500,000 from February. And that is primarily due to that cashed in a couple of CDs because it was time for renewal and the rates were low compared to what we had been receiving because, of course, rates have been dropping over the years. And we felt like that we could explore different options after we had passed the investment policy and that there might be some other investment vehicles out there that we could look at. So that is why that has increased, because as you have looked through the financial statements, you will see that the general fund is expenses are higher than the revenues for the month, and primarily due to we had some large payments in March for workman's comp insurance that was primarily attributable to the general fund and for the purchase of the police vehicles. So, but the other funds seem to be, revenues are over expenses.
Questions, comments, discussion for Laura? Thank you. Need a motion to approve financial report?
Motion. Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you. Mr. Krischke, anything on the report from staff, sir?
Only that we're still looking at May 6th, it's the first Monday of the month, to do a special meeting to do a kind of a workshop for the Unified Development Code, bring council up to speed on where we are in the process, what's transpired, and then get some feedback and information on a couple of key points that we need to work on. So that's still scheduled, unless something changes, May 6th at 6 p.m.
What was the location on that?
Here.
Right here. Mr. Derrickson?
No, sir.
On to future community events. Welcome, Mr. Keeling.
Future community events. April 9th through May the 9th, Arthritis Foundation Exercise Program. We hold that program at the Republic Community Center on Tuesdays at 1:30 and on Thursdays at 10 a.m. There will be no class on April 18th. That program is free. April 10th, 17th, and 24th, Messy Munchkins is 10:30 a.m. Pre-registration is required. April 11th, 18th, 25th, and May 2nd, 9th, and 16th is Toddler Tumbling, 5:30 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. Pre-registration is required. That is held at the Republic Activities Building. April 12th, 19th, and 26th is Toddler Storytime, 10:30 a.m. That's a free event. No registration is required, and that's also held at the Republic Community Center. April 15th, 22nd, and 29th, there's no open gym on April 1st, but that's Toddler Open Gym at 10 a.m. It's a Republic Activities Building. April 20th is Parents' Night Out. It's 5 to 9 p.m. It's on a Saturday evening. Pre-registration is required. April 25th is Senior Movie Day at 2 p.m. The movie is Moonrise Kingdom.
Got a synopsis on that, Jared? Or? Okay, just check.
I'll have one next meeting.
Yeah, thank you.
Free event, free popcorn and free coffee. May 4th, and I do wanna talk about this briefly, is the 10th annual May Day 5K and 1 mile fun run. That's held at Miller Park. The start time for the 5K is 8 a.m. and the, start time for the fun run is 7:30 a.m. Last year we had 700 participants in this, event. For our 10th annual, we've got word from the PTO group from Republic Schools that they're gonna send about 700 or 800 kids our way, so we should be pushing about 1,000 to 1,100 people in this race, so
Excellent.
that's a big race for a community our size, so.
That's excellent. All right. Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
You're welcome.
Board Commissions and Committee Schedule, Board of Adjustments, May 2nd. Capital Improvements, April 24th. City Council, April 22nd, May 13th. Planning and Zoning, April 15th. On old business, need a motion to have the second reading of Bill number 13-16.
Motion. Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, repealing and replacing portions of Section 705.250A of the Municipal Code by adding water and sewer impact fee rates for low-volume commercial users.
Need a motion to have the final passage of Bill number 13-16.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Welcome, Mr. Brock. Please give us an overview, sir.
Thank you. This bill is very, specific, as the title implies. It adds a new, new line in our fee schedule for commercial users for a 5/8" meter. The fees are equivalent to residential's, meter impact fee, $350 for water, $750 for sewer.
Thank you. Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brock? Anything at all? See none, roll call vote.
Councilmember Harrelson?
Aye.
Councilmember Cole?
Aye.
Councilmember Casagran?
Aye.
Councilmember Harder?
Aye.
Councilmember Brashear?
Aye.
Councilmember Groom?
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson?
Aye.
Councilmember Clinkenberg?
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Brock. On the next item on the agenda, need a motion to have the second reading of Bill number 13-17.
Motion. Second.
A motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, approving an application to amend the zoning code and official map by changing the classification of approximately 3.77 acres owned by Wood and Houston Bay, located at 1495 South State Highway MM, from general commercial C2 to light industrial M1.
Need a motion to have the final passage of Bill number 13-17.
Motion. Second.
A motion and a second. Ms. Nigel's not here tonight, so I'm gonna leave that to Mr. Krischke for the overview. Sorry, throw you under the bus, sorry.
No, that's all right. As Gail explained at the last meeting, this is rezoning of approximately 3.77 acres. It's in the Brookline Business Park area, which is right off of MM Highway. The request is to change from a general commercial C2 to a light industrial M1, and the property owner has made the application for the change. The land use plan that's in place for that particular area, this fits consistently in with what is generally thought of to be the proper zoning for that area, which is general commercial zoning. The subject property is surrounded by a variety of different zoning categories, agricultural zoning to the east and south, and some general commercial zoning to the north and to the west. Utilities are on site. There's obviously good transportation available to the site as well. This particular property would be accessed off of the corner, it's on the southwest corner of what would be MM Highway and what they're referring to as West Brookline Boulevard. So direct access would be off of West Brookline Boulevard. So, that is it in a nutshell.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Krischke. Mr. Grooms?
Just kind of a question of curiosity, why are they rezoning this when it's lot one of a preliminary plat that's on down the agenda?
They're seeking to rezone first, and then we'll go through the process of getting the final plat. There's a project in waiting for this particular site. This is the site that was chosen, so to work through to get them satisfied on the zoning portion of it, we move the zoning forward, and then tonight, as you mentioned later on down the agenda, we'll have the first read for the final plat. This particular site, the business park, is approximately 80 acres, and it was scheduled to be built in phases. These first two lots, lots 1 and 2, are part of that first phase. It's just a process by which we went through. There wasn't anything
It just seemed
different.
redundant to me is all.
Yeah, the final plat is, when we get to it, you'll see we'll have a couple of things that we need to get completed and wrapped up between the first read tonight and the second read, but this would at least, put in place the zoning that they would require to move their business plan forward.
Correct. Good. Additional questions, comments, discussion? Anything at all? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilmember Clinkenberry,
Aye.
Councilmember Wilson,
Aye.
Councilmember Gruen,
Aye.
Councilmember Brashear,
Aye.
Councilmember Harder,
Aye.
Councilmember Casagrande,
Aye.
Councilmember Full,
Aye.
Councilmember Harrelson,
Aye.
Motion carries 8-0. Thank you. On other business, resolutions and discussion. Resolution number 13-R-19, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic of Missouri declaring the results of the April 2nd, 2013 municipal election to elect 4 council members. Need a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion and a second. Brenda, give us the overview since you're in charge.
In the red folders, tonight you will, have found the, certification from the 2 clerks, Greene County and Christian County, of the election results. And, so we have elected the, meeting council seats. And we'll be, swearing those members in here in just a few minutes.
Questions, comments, discussion from Brenda? Okay. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Resolution number 13-R-20, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic of Missouri declaring the results of April 2nd, 2013 municipal election on the question of imposing said sales tax for the operation of the City of Republic Fire Department. Motion?
Motion.
Second.
A motion and a second. Again, Brenda, give us the overview.
Again, the, certified results, are in your red packet, and this is for the, sales tax for the fire department.
Questions, comments, discussion from Brenda? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. On to the swearing in of elected officials. Ward 1, Mr. Jeff Clinkenbeard. Ward 2, Ms. Jerry Poole. Ward 3, Mr. Shane Grooms. And Ward 4, Mr. Daniel Harder. I'm going to turn it over to Brenda and let her do what she does.
If I can get those members to, come forward up here, we'll. Okay, stand right over there.
I'm already here. Get out. Don't break the camera, Marty.
Get your elbows in. All right, if you would raise your right hand and repeat after me. In the blank, please fill in your name. I blank.
I, Jeff Harder,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess all the qualifications
that I possess all the qualifications
prescribed for my office by law,
prescribed by my office by law,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and of the State of Missouri,
and of the State of Missouri,
the provisions of all laws
the provisions of all laws
of this state affecting cities of this class,
of this state affecting cities of this class,
and the ordinances of the City of Republic,
and the ordinances of the City of Republic,
and that I will faithfully demean myself in office.
and I will faithfully demean myself in office.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Should be a round of applause.
Big words there, what the?
I'm gonna look some of them up later.
All All right.
Let me know what you come up with, Shane.
Welcome, council members. Nobody's new, so we'll just move on to the next item. Every year, we elect a mayor pro tem. Mr. Daniel Harder has served in that capacity this year. So I'd like to take, we always do this every year, so I'd like to have a motion to elect a mayor pro tem, not new, necessarily new, but a mayor pro tem. Mr. Wilson?
I'd like to nominate Daniel again.
I'll second that.
I have a motion in 2 seconds. Other motions? All right, seeing none, all in favor of Daniel Harder to be mayor pro tem, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions?
Abstain.
One abstention. Motion carries 7-0 to 1. All right.
Surprising for an Adams man.
On to new business. Wow.
I think there's gonna be a duel after this.
Let's take one. Need a motion to have the first reading of bill number 13-18.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the execution of a memorandum of understanding with Overland Properties LLC.
Welcome, Mr. Pratt. Please give us an overview, sir.
Thank you. Let me explain. Overland Properties is the development arm for Dollar General, and they are looking at construction of a new facility at a location just 220 West Highway 60. That's the location of the former Jackson Station. One of the challenges that they have come across is the really poor infrastructure that we have in that area for water and sewer. The area was developed in the 1960s. The only water main we have on that side of the highway is a small 2-inch line that runs down the back of the properties. There are a number of properties over there that share a sewer service lateral. They all tie together and come into the city. And so we started working with them just before Christmas on potential ways to coordinate, cooperate to get them to be able to move in and build in compliance with our current standards for water service, sewer service, and fire protection. So what you have before you is we tried to keep a very simple memorandum of understanding that lays out what each of the parties will do to allow them to construct. Very briefly, the developer will do a highway bore under Highway 60. They'll do some slight modifications to a sewer manhole and reconnect the folks that are utilizing some of the service back there. The city's part would be to replace about 265 feet of 4-inch main, really right out in front of the Mercy Clinic. We would estimate that the developer's going to spend well over $25,000 on their end of it. Road crossings are priceless in our industry. On the city's part, we're estimating a maximum of about $10,000 on that water main replacement. That's a pretty high unit cost for the 8-inch pipe we'll be putting in, but it's a pretty congested area down there. And there's always a little bit of uncertainty when you start excavating into an older part of town. So we feel we've put together something that's beneficial to the city. The improved fire flow that we'll get down there, down in that area, will benefit the Southwest Plaza Shopping Center. We really don't have the amount of flow that the chief would like to see in that area. The water main crossing gives us a start or a leg up to do additional main extensions down there. I'm sorry, I forgot to mention they will. Overland Properties will also dedicate to the city the easements necessary for us to expand lines east and west and normalize sewer and water service in that area for existing homes or for potential redevelopment. This should be a fairly controlled situation. We'll have engineered drawings that dictate how the construction goes. Certainly, everything will meet city standards. We are still waiting for those plans to go through our normal review and approval process. So we hope to have all of that completed by the second reading, and the the blanks that you see in the memorandum for, to document the, dates on those engineering plans, those should be completed at that point.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brock? Mr. Casagrande?
Does Overland Properties currently own that property?
I believe it is owned by a subsidiary of Overland Properties.
Okay, excellent. And then just for my, orientation, the water main that we're gonna replace, that's over by Clinkenbeard Corners?
I'm sorry, I don't know where Clinkenbeard Corners.
At the corner of Main and 60?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'm not even going there. There's so much material. Other additional pertinent questions, comments, or discussion for Mr. Brock? Mr. Brock, I have 2 points. One, will we have the water out in that area, behind that area for a length of time?
We'll need to do a little bit of, as far as service outages, potential services outages, we're gonna have to do some after hours work.
Okay.
We'll have to work around the different businesses there in Southwest Plaza, but we hope that we can minimize any service disruptions.
Make sure that, and I know you do a great job of this, make sure we educate those consumers back there and the houses and the citizens, and make sure that they understand the schedule, the timing, and everything else. I know you do a good job of that, just want to remind them. Mr. Quickenbeard, go ahead.
A couple of things. One, if we're boring under 60 and it's precious, have we done the maximum that we can do that'll support long-term there, or is it worth going a little bigger, spending a little money now while we are full on resources?
We intend to have the developer put in an 8-inch pipe. All of the infrastructure back to the tower will be 6. So ultimately, we would anticipate there'll be a better feed coming from the west. So, I think we've asked them to do as much as we reasonably can without replacing several thousand feet of pipe upstream.
And the second question was, are they gonna be held up on construction until all that work is completed, or can they do building construction while they wait for that?
They should be able to proceed, with their building construction while this is going through.
And then we'll hopefully meet their deadline or meet up at some
Yeah,
endpoint.
their deadline is to have, occupy the building in August.
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
Thank you.
Additional questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brock? Mr. Harder?
Is this gonna affect any of the property owners around, like the house immediately to the east of them, or the business to the west?
It should not impact them. They may have a short service outage when the sewer lines are changed over, but that would really limit, service conflicts. The big advantage for all the properties over there is it kinda gives us a basis for us to normalize our sewer and water service. And we do want to come back with a project that, builds on this small, manhole adjustment that they're doing and extend a sewer main on the back line of those properties. So I think the biggest impact for those folks might be the potential, either for normalized service or redevelopment potential for each of those properties.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Wilson?
I know we're talking water, but that being, at one time a service station, have they removed all the, fuel tanks?
I believe those were removed when the building was demoed.
Good question, because I'm trying to think back when they...
I don't know if it was or not.
No, they pulled everything, and I don't think there was any, I don't remember. Obviously, they've done their homework, if they have, if they're this far in the
I don't know
process.
if they filled it or removed it, I don't.
This is the same group that's built Marionville, Aurora. They have one planned in Billings. I think they've got a number of these going in across Southwest Missouri.
Additional questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brock? This is a first read. If you have additional questions, comments between now and the next meeting, contact Mr. Brock or ask at the next meeting. On the next item, need a motion having first reading of bill number 13-19, Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries.
An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, approving the final plat of the Brookline Business Park Phase One subdivision located at the 1500 block of South State Highway MM in the City of Republic, Missouri.
Mr. Krischke, welcome. Please give us the overview, sir.
Okay, this is a first read, and, in the event that, as I mentioned earlier on the rezoning ordinance, there are a number of things that have to be completed before the final plat can be, recorded, and we will be working as staff and the developer to get those things completed. But for right now, we have, of the 80 acres that comprise the Brookline Business Park, this is the first phase that is scheduled and ready for final platting. It is 20 acres. It consists of 9 different lots. The earlier rezoning was for lots 1 and 2 of this first phase. The infrastructure is already in place in terms of the road and the water and the sewer. There are 2 issues that are particularly important to mention. One would be the detention area that is built in the back side of the property, on the western side of this property. That detention area would be supportive of the entire 80 acres. Of course, before any building were to take place, that needs to be completed and usable. And there is some work that needs to be done with that. Originally, that was intended to be somewhat of a water feature that would hold water all year round. That no longer is going to be an option, so there's going to need to be some modifications to the detention basin to make sure that that functions properly. We're going to get that corrected and get all of the assurances we need to make sure that is done. There's an issue with a couple of hammerheads on the end of the 2 fingers that come off of Brookline Avenue. Those are probably not as critical or important to this particular development that was just changed before. However, we do need to make assurances that those will get done in a timely manner and before any other additional development gets done. Those 2 things will all be able to be addressed through a property owners association and restrictive covenants that are in the process of being written right now. So because of the timing of the development and moving forward with the final plat, we are asking for the first read tonight, and then we will work and get this information and get all this work completed prior to the second read. If for some reason we get delayed, then we'll have to ask for it to be tabled until the next meeting in May. Just as a little background information, this subdivision was originally approved, preliminary plat was originally approved in 2007, and probably everybody who think back will remember it's been extended 3 different times, in 2009 and 2011 for 2-year periods, and then just most recently in the early part of 2013. So our extension now goes through February of 2015. Hopefully this will be the start of some development in that area and then some completion of these other phases, and we will be able to get the other phases final platted as soon as possible. Lastly, there'll be also some dedications of some easements and right-of-ways to make sure that we've got everything in place so that stormwater detention is covered.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Krischke?
You said lots 1 and 2 were part of that other rezone.
We're part of the first rezone, sorry.
Lot 2 is still showing a C2 zoning in the plat, not an M1 zone.
Because you did the zoning earlier.
Well, that's what I'm wondering,
It was
what
both of them
takes
were C2.
precedence, and actually, lot 1 is like 3.7 acres.
Yeah, and I may be mistaken, hang on.
Get the answer.
And Keith, this may be, and that's exactly right. In the rezone, we show that as being lots 1 and 2, And my guess, and I think that it may be just a, what do you call those, Ron, when we have a,
Scrivener's error.
Scrivener's error. You'll note on the plat that's included in the final plat is a 313.
Mr. Brown, go ahead.
I believe it's all correct. The lot one in the final plat is comprised of what used to be lots 1 and 2 in the preliminary plat.
Thank you.
You want someone else to speak?
No, I want you to speak into the
No,
microphone.
no.
Thank you.
Lot one in this final plat is comprised of what used to be lots 1 and 2 in the preliminary plat. So lots have been renumbered. Lot one is 3+ acres, whereas before it was 2 lots of 1.5 acres. So I think everything is squared away here. But I think the exhibit just refers to how the lot was laid out in the preliminary plat.
Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Brock. Thank you, Mr. Roberts. Glad to have you back. Additional questions, comments, discussion? This is a first read. If you have questions or comments, discussion, need some clarification, please contact Mr. Brock, Mr. Christie, or Ms. Noggle in the Planning and Zoning Department. On to other business, resolution number 13-R-21, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing a bid for a half-ton 4x2 four-door crew cab work truck and authorizing the purchase thereof. Would like to have a motion?
Motion. Second.
Motion and second. Welcome back, Mr. Brown. Please give us an overview, sir.
Thank you. We followed a sealed bid process to acquire bids for a new work truck, develop specifications for a four-door half-ton 4x2 in which either a Ford F-150 or a Chevy Silverado 1500 would qualify. We received 3 bids, Republic Ford, Jimmy Mitchell Motor, and Reliable Chevrolet. Our low bidder was Republic Ford, bid price of $22,375 for an F-Ford 150. That meets all of our specifications. So staff is requesting award of that bid to our low bidder, Republic Ford, and authorization to go ahead and purchase that vehicle.
Questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brown? I think that's all. Mr. Harder?
You said, of course, to make up the difference in the budget, you're proposing to bid this out through now.
We have a shortfall of $2,875. We think it has a book value of between $3,000 and $3,500, and we'd like to negotiate with some of our city departments to see if we can't come to terms for that difference in price.
Okay, thank you.
I don't want to give up my negotiating position too early in the
Negotiation game.
Yes.
Don't worry, Jared already read it. He knows.
Lowball back here.
$100 in a pass in the pool.
Additional
December pass.
Additional comments, questions, discussion. Mr. Quickenbeer?
I've noticed regularly on these bids over the last couple of years, we get a lot from Ford and Chevy. How do these bids go out that we never seem to get a Toyota back? Is it something where they don't meet? Not that I have a brand alliance or anything, but that or other brands that I never see, do they not meet specifications? Do they?
We will pre-qualify a vehicle. We'll go and take a look at, 2 comparative Ford and Chevys, and we'll write a set of minimum specifications for wheelbase, the type of axle, gear ratios, the size of engine, and in our bid specs we'll say an F-150 and a Silverado will qualify with no other submittal. Our advertisement that we put in the paper, we're not specific about that, but we don't solicit outside of those vehicles that we pre-qualified. Nothing would prohibit a Toyota dealer or a Jeep dealer or anybody else from seeing our advertisement in the paper and submitting a bid. We simply ask that they give us enough technical specs to say this is comparable, not necessarily identical to these other vehicles, but close enough that they're not gonna, low bid or lowball everybody else by submitting a compact truck when we're looking for a half-ton.
Sure. Do those other manufacturers have, I mean, are we specifically getting too tight with our specs where they only meet the vehicle we're looking at, and basically eliminating everybody else, or are we making it to where other manufacturers have a chance?
It has been my experience that, they do not have the government programs and the fleet discounts that are available through Ford and Chevy. So we solicited probably a total of 7 Ford and Chevy dealers. Sent them a fax that said, this truck is out to bid, contact us if you want to set a bid spec. We don't solicit brands outside of that. And it's been my experience, they will not compete. I was really shocked that we had a Chevy bid. This is probably the first Chevy bid I've seen in 5 or 6 years for a new vehicle.
Sure. Just curious, it always comes back that way. I wondered if the deck was stacked or something.
They could certainly qualify. Tacoma and some of the other vehicles will probably meet the specifications, but I mean, I think you're familiar with the market out there. Those are higher priced vehicles. Can we get the job done with a good old base model? Absolutely.
So it's about the manufacturer themselves having a program where they're discounting it through that dealer enough to make it, you know, where they can sell it that cheap. Yes. Where the other ones may not have a program where they're even targeting us as a market.
That's right. I would venture to guess if you walked onto the Ford lot and asked for this vehicle, you would not get anything close to this price. Probably $5,000 or $6,000 at the most if you really worked on it.
Thank you.
Good question. Additional questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brock?
I guess I just have a comment to dovetail off of what Mr. Klinkenbeard said. You know, I am really, really excited that our business is staying local, but the last couple bids have gone to Republic Ford, so I think we need to make sure that all of our T's are crossed and I's are dotted, so it doesn't look like favoritism in any way. I think it's great that we're going to, you know, we're using local business. I think that's spectacular, but we just want to make sure that there isn't anything that looks like maybe favoritism, or maybe we're setting specifications so that a certain.
No, I'm happy we're going that direction too, and it wasn't meant to any slight to the local dealer. It was more of making sure that we're getting a wide range of open, you know, bids open there, that we're not
no criticism, just
keeping
a
it
caution.
too close.
No, and you're right. There's many members on the council that have been here a long time. Even Mr. Roberts in the back has seen bids, and we never got a bid from a local dealer. I remember we bought a mower one time from Kansas, you know, because that was the only one that gave us a bid. So, you know, that's the thing, that we've got local businesses now wanting our business, which is wonderful. And your points are both well taken, and Mr. Brock is as surprised as anybody, I think, along with the rest of us, that local bids are coming in as they are. And Bob Biden said he was going to get in the business. He's in the business, so clearly doing a good job. Additional questions, comments, discussion for Mr. Brock? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. No one was last.
Tongue was covering your eyes.
It was something, I'm not quite sure what that was. On the next item, resolution number 13-R-22, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the city administrator to dispose of surplus city vehicles in accordance with city policy. Would like to have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Mr. Kishke, give us the overview, sir.
It has been the policy for the last few years to bring any surplus vehicles or equipment, what have you, to the city council to declare them surplus so that we can dispose of them. We've got 3 items that we're bringing forward. 2 would be in the fire department, a beautiful 1978 Pierce fire engine, and a historic, very, very, very lightly used, excellent condition 1995 Freightliner fire truck. And then the third item is out of the police department, which is the old patrol car 2005 Chevy Impala. The Impala we will dispose of, as we do many of the old police vehicles, by taking them to one of the local auctions. That seems to be where we get the best value on those vehicles. the two fire engines, because of their age and because of the uniqueness of the fire engines and not a very big market, the chief is already in the process of soliciting other agencies for bids. So we will go out and solicit bids for those particular vehicles, and hopefully we will get more than one offer per vehicle. Highly unlikely, but possible.
I'd like to add too, one point on the, police vehicle, that particular vehicle was not offered to school due to the ongoing maintenance in it that is in your packet, and the fact that the other vehicles that we have that are going out are newer, don't have the maintenance issues that this one has, and that we did not want to turn this one over to the school district and have them, fight the maintenance that we've had on it, so that's the reason that is up. Questions, comments, discussion, Mr. Quaker, I think you're first, sir.
I was gonna say, I thought the chief had a front yard that he had in store for the
No,
78.
usually the chief puts those on the front lawn of the fire department, but we've kinda nixed that program, hopefully over the last 4 or 5 years.
I thought he had a former employee or something.
This is retired.
Yeah, I think this is a former,
Retired, one of the retired, firemen, yeah.
And it could go on Dennis Morgan's property.
Dennis Morgan lives right up the street.
To name somebody, that's retired at,
Not to mention
at
the
a
name.
corner lot, but, actually, we do have, two agencies that are interested in these vehicles, so, and they are usable, and I think for a smaller agency, they will serve a good purpose. So we joke about them, but at the same time, they've served us well, and to the right agency, these will be a good piece of equipment.
It'll upgrade them just as we're getting upgraded as well. Additional questions, comments, discussion?
Does the money, do the proceeds go into the general fund then? Is that where the proceeds from the sale go?
They'll go right back into the fund for the purchase of the new vehicles, so, yes.
Good question. Additional questions, comments, discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Last item on the agenda, resolution number 13-R-23, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Republic, Missouri, authorizing the fire department to apply for the Missouri Statewide Communications Assistant Program grant for 2013. I'd like to have a motion.
Motion. Second.
A motion second. Welcome. Chief Compton, please give us an overview, sir.
This is a grant that the state of Missouri has out there to replace some radio equipment. Recently attended a seminar. They suggested that we apply for it and ask for more radios than we need because they're probably going to fund us for about a third of what we requested. They were very upfront with that. The radios that we're asking for, in the event of a disaster, they would come in very handy. The state of Missouri has moved to the 700 megahertz system throughout the state. And they demonstrated one of these radios, and you can literally be standing in this room and talk back to Hannibal, Missouri, and just as clear as a bell. So if we had something happen and we had to have outside help come in, we could talk clearly to Jeff City, and they could talk clearly right back to us if there wasn't any phone line communications or cell phones that we could use. They also operate on the VHF radio system, which are still a few counties around us that use that. Christian and Lawrence and Polk County are on that particular radio system. The grant's a 100% reimbursable grant to the city. I really doubt if they'll fund us for the whole amount, but we'll see. Look to, like I said, to get probably a third of what we requested. If it's awarded, the city will have to front the money, and then there's a 14-day waiting period. We'll be refunded our money, and they plan to have this closed out at the end of the state budget year, which is June 1. So it will move very fast.
Questions, comments, discussion for Chief Compton?
The 14 days, that we're out, the $75,000, can we float that for 14 days?
That's a pretty quick turnaround, actually, for reimbursement from the state, so.
Sure. So yes?
Yes.
By the time they know that our
Maybe a
check
quick
is good.
turnaround, but yeah. Say we deposit the check today and say it clears tomorrow.
Laura has it in her pocket.
I'm so glad Laura's right. Fine. Anyway, additional comments, questions, discussion for Chief Compton?
Float might not be the best term.
Anything at all? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. That's the last item on the agenda. Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second.
Have a motion, and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any abstentions? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.